muted. Why? I was muted, and I'm here. Some people got it going on, some people don't. Goes to the moon. I am the Data Lord. This is the Centralized TV Crypto and Copy, and I gotta tell you something. It's Monday, all over again. Like Salty Pepper says, yo. Hope everyone's doing peachy keen. How you all doing today, huh? How you doing? How you doing, Cookie? You giving the big yo? Show's not starting soon. The show is now. Now is the show. So let's look at the markets. Then we'll get into some stories. And if you have any questions along the way, let me know. And we'll chat about it. So, looks like Bitcoin currently at 26.5, meaning we pulled up a little bit. Last 7 days come up 2.1%. Good thing for Bitcoin. I'll show you the bigger charting in a moment. Ethereum actually not copying very well, kind of pulling away, but not major divergence at almost minus 1% for the week. We got Ripple nipple minus 5.3%, meaning people got high on hopium. Hope that's street legal. Dogecoin up 1.5% over the week. Solana 1.6% up for the week. Litecoin kind of holding rock steady at 77.40, and I think that's a good thing. We can still scoop some bags on that before we see the water chill out a little bit. We get a little pump. And not whenever you see like coins like Shiba Inu pumping like 8.7%, it's because there's not really any major market action, and so people are just kind of throwing around the turds. They're playing badminton with a turd. So everyone's doing it though. It's all the rage with Generation Z. So what are you gonna do? And then let's go over here and take a look at the actual charts. Let's look at our charts for the day. So, let me make it a little wider. And also, my banner's wrong. Dang it. There we go. So, looks like we have the wrong window open for Brandon. There you go. So, Bitcoin. Rocking at this wedge here, right? We have this big descending wedge. These are day candles. And you can see we racked up here. And really we formed this descending wedge. And basically what it's doing is whenever it pops up, it kind of bangs its head on this line and comes down. And so that means we're building pressure. Now the question is, are we building pressure against, this line here? Are we building pressure against this line here? We'll find out. But either way, if you look at the floor, that's what this long yellow line is here. That's kind of where it starts to catch. Right here is where the SEC and Coinbase are supposed to settle, but we've been seeing movement on that anyway. So who knows? Maybe this ends up going in this line here, and somewhere in this pocket where we're building pressure, I think we'll see a breakout. But question is, how high is a breakout? We're talking like a 40K breakout. That's what I'm thinking, probably around 40K. So yeah, don't go out and sell your car just yet, but it's okay. Looking at Litecoin, we are also in one of those descending wedge patterns. So this is the halving here on August 2nd. We can see we're having a late, pop up due to all the FUD in the general space. And I think that's okay. Just know what you're looking at. And, we haven't popped out yet. So we're kind of riding this bottom line here. There's no deep reason to think we need to necessarily draw a lower line at the moment, unless like it's more confirmed than we'll look at a wider wedge, and that's okay too. But it is possible that it pumps after the halving. That can happen, but usually it pumps a few weeks prior, usually 8 weeks prior to the halving. Right now, we're seeing obviously it's not 8 weeks; it's a little sooner than that until the halving. But I'm expecting something major to pop off, and when it does, I'm looking at very least, these 200 per Litecoin levels, if not higher. But not financial advice. That's just personally what I am expecting it to do. So set phaser to stun, right? Looking at Dogecoin, we have this really awesome dip, and there's, as far as the charts go, not a good reason for it to dip that low. So I'd say if you can get in on some Doge position, it's quite frankly at a pretty low level at the moment, and it's likely for it to pump because we've had Doge really start to have this right here as a floor, this 5 cents as a floor, and I don't see us going too much below 5 cents. So anything below 7 cents is probably a good pickup for Dogecoin. For staging yourself for whenever it does pop off big. Doge, when it does pop off, grab a long position here. So like Doge, if you were to pick it up right now and it were to go to levels we've seen it go to when it pops off, like even here, that's 65%. If we're to go to these levels here, that's 153%. So I think the upside on Doge is significant, and right now is a good accumulation spot for Dogecoin. And we have some news on Matic, all good stuff, but just the same, it's in my accumulation box right now. It's unlikely to go substantially lower, and so I'd say that depending on how long the bear market goes, this also might be something I'd pay attention to picking up. Polygon is doing some cool things. ETH still has its bottleneck issues, and Polygon fixes that. So what I see happening is, especially once the SEC rules properly on NFTs, whether they're securities or what have you, what the boundary lines on that are, I think we're really going to see Polygon really take the lead on non-Bitcoin NFTs, specifically because a lot of people want smart contracts on their NFTs. So that's kind of the reason. So any whoozy whatsy. So that is our market update. Hope everyone's not too deep underwater at the moment. If you are, keep calm, huddle on, don't freak out. So let's whip it out. Not in a rude way, more like stories, And if you would just say what's up in the chat. Everyone loves seeing who's hanging out. So first story for the day: Elon Musk's new tweet makes Ripple, Doge, and Matic communities happy. And I know XRP is not Ripple, but you know what I mean. XRP equals Ripple, whether people want to believe that or not. In PR, it does mean that. And here's Elon with a silly haircut. Elon Musk, tech billionaire and the new boss of Twitter, formerly a CTO now, has announced that the platform is introducing a new function that will allow anyone to create communities based on any topic. Crypto fans of various coins, including XRP and Musk's favorite Dogecoin, immediately responded to that tweet. Doge. We rep the Doge over here. Crypto fans love the Doge. So here's XRP Crypto Wolf, a guy who enjoys drinking watered down coffee, says XRP Army is the best crypto community in crypto. Well, it's not, and you're wrong. Several accounts dedicated to leading cryptocurrencies, XRP, Doge, and Matic, happily replied that now they would be able to expand their communities on Twitter. just like Facebook. Wow. While providing various new tools for crypto communities to expand and create more content and goodness, my allergies are bad right now, by the way. So hold up. We're going to be okay. So while providing various new tools for crypto communities to expand and create more content and be rewarded for it via the recently introduced subscription feature, Elon Musk does not seem to be breaking his neck to add Doge as an official payment method on Twitter. This is despite his earlier multiple loud statements that Doge would ideally fit the role of Twitter coin for rewarding content creators and making micro payments on the platform. 10 days ago, the eccentric tech billionaire reaffirmed his support for Dogecoin in a cryptic tweet. He wrote back then, "Cry havoc and let slip the Doges of war." It is not only the Doge community that eagerly responded to Musk's tweet. Top member of XRP Army also do that quite often. A few times recently, then Musk tweeted X, meaning X Everything app. He wanted to eventually turn Twitter into. XRP fans jokingly responded that if Musk had hinted at XRP when tweeting that. No, they did not. And what's up, Indo Cryptosity, brother? Salty Prepper chilling in the chat. Appreciate you guys. So, Mark Cuban. What about Mark Cuban? Mark Cuban debates crypto regulations with former SEC official. So the billionaire, entrepreneur, and former enforcement official engaged in a spirited but respectful debate that publicly unpacked critical issues. No thanks. A recent Twitter exchange between two prominent figures in the world of finance and technology. Entrepreneur Mark Cuban and former SEC official John Reed Stark, which has a Star Trek name. Hello, John Reed Stark. Has drawn attention as an example of positive civil discourse around complex and contentious issues. And the stupid, ugly llama DJ is back. Let's see if we can block him. I want that on. Get out of here with that. Yeah, bye. Sorry you had to see that. The billionaire and former enforcement official engaged in spirited debate over the intricacies of securities laws as they pertain to cryptocurrency. The conversation transpired in view of the public, with both parties passionately yet respectfully presenting their viewpoints. John Reed Stark, now a private consultant, was the founder and former head of the SEC's Office of What is this? SEC's Office of Internet Enforcement. Why does that exist? Why does that exist? Mark Cuban is a billionaire entrepreneur known for his investments in various tech companies and as a high-profile media personality and a guy with a yacht. Mark Cuban has a yacht. He has been an outspoken advocate of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. So here's a spirited conversation. So the debate centered around the notion of regulatory clarity in the realm of cryptocurrency, a hotly contested issue in the finance world. Wow. Hold up. Pray for me. My allergies. Okay. Among Stark's key arguments is against the notion of inadequate regulatory clarity in the cryptocurrency industry, arguing instead that security regulation is intentionally broad and all-encompassing, with precision often deliberately avoided to allow for the regulation of a wide array of financial instruments. He also suggested that the crypto industry often cries foul and challenges the enactment of any specific crypto or regulatory crypto related rules when they are introduced despite the calls for clarity. So Cuban, however, countered these points from a practical standpoint, taking issue with the contention that all crypto projects can be lumped together under the umbrella of enterprises. Not all crypto businesses that have tokens or are considered using tokens are large enterprises, he wrote, continuing. The vast majority of crypto applications are small, maybe 3 people. I had someone from one of those companies call the SEC and ask for guidance on getting registered. The response from the SEC was, here are some cases to review. Get a lawyer to help you. That is the fundamental problem. So it's a dead end is the problem, right? They're like, yeah, you just turned left at the lake. You're like, that goes into the lake, bud. Why would I do that? It's just that's not helpful instruction, right? Cuban likened this to cities enforcing license laws on a lemonade stand, arguing that it was fundamentally problematic to place enterprise level burdens on extremely small startup projects. He also raised concerns about the political implications of the personal goals of the SEC executives and their influence over enforcement decisions. The two figures continued the debate for over 24 hours and covered such topics as pink sheet stocks, FIDC insurance loopholes, celebrity culpability, and more. The entire discussion can be found here. And I'll throw that link in the chat just so you can check that out if you're interested after the stream, of course. If you leave me, I'll cry. Don't do it. Acres of common ground. So, in spite of many disagreements and various and very different backgrounds, Cuban and Stark's conversation avoided the common pitfalls of online debate, such as referring to someone's mom in the Sahara Desert. In his reflection after the fact, Stark commented that while they often vehemently disagree, they nevertheless discovered acres of common ground. In a social media landscape often characterized by hyperbole and dismissiveness, Stark and Cuban maintained a respectful, even amicable tone throughout the exchange and concluded by emphasizing points of agreement. Stark likened the exchange to an old-fashioned town hall meeting, except with millions of attendees and lots of participation. So, cool to see that, man. I'm so tired of all the hate and vitriol. It's nice to see people having constructive, intelligent, respectful conversations. I mean, I really do think we have to put that on a pedestal whenever it happens and make sure people don't forget that some people actually have brains and can discuss a topic instead of talking about somebody's mom. So, yeah, what are you going to do? So, inscriptions coming to Ethereum. The ETHscriptions protocol to create NFTs launched. This is kind of a big deal. 20 mining, what up? What's up? Good morning. Inscriptions are landing also on the Ethereum blockchain thanks to the launch of ETHscriptions protocol, which allows users to mint NFTs at a lower cost and in a more decentralized manner than classic data storage or smart contracts. The new protocol, which was inspired by ordinals, is seen by the community as a great innovation, but at the same time, it's already obsolete. So let's take a look at the details together. A new way to create NFTs on Ethereum, the ETHscription protocol. Following the success of ordinals on the Bitcoin blockchain, here come NFT inscriptions on the ETH network thanks to the ETHscription protocol. The new protocol launched on 17th of June by Tom Lehman, or Lehman. I don't know how to pronounce your name, my guy. Co-founder and former CEO of Genius.com. Wow, so smart. Allows users to inscribe images less than 96 kilobits in size on the Ethereum network, creating digital artifacts similar to NFTs. Lehman, also known as Middlemarch on Twitter, I'm just going to call him Middlemarch now, announced that soon the functionality of ETHscriptions will expand to allow the inscription of other file types. So he says, introducing ETHscriptions, a new way of creating and sharing digital artifacts on Ethereum using transaction. I clicked on it. Call data. Also, introducing Ethereum punks, because why should all non-contract punk collecting happen on Bitcoin? So that's a little bit of a Me Too thing. Not the political movement, but he wants to be involved as well. The process is based primarily on the use of Ethereum's call data, or the call within a call, or the data within a call to smart contract. So that makes sense. The advantage compared to classical storage solutions directly on smart contracts is a lower cost in terms of gas fees and greater decentralization. Yeah. I'm trying not to sneeze. Hold up. We okay. So the advantages compared to classic storage solutions directly on smart contracts is a lower cost in terms of gas fees and greater decentralization. So in just under 18 hours since the protocol was launched, about 30,000 ETH subscriptions have been registered, a number that prompted laymen to call it a real success. Many users expressed enthusiasm about an innovation that has attracted much interest among the community, while others did not like the fact that call data has been utilized by ETH developers for several years already. Interesting. So now we have ETH inscriptions on Ethereum transaction data. Interesting tech, or just another vehicle for Ponzi? Yeah, we'll see. Clouded Mind says it is not new. People have been storing custom data and art in call data since 2016. Examples are Death Beef, OXMon, and Euler Beats. ETH inscription functionality is worse than state data. Ethereum is more composable at the token level, but I bought some out of spite of ordinals. So some ETH fella here doesn't like Bitcoin, and good for you, man. In addition, although no real smart contracts exist on Bitcoin yet, and ordinal subscriptions are a necessity for minting NFTs, they are better performing solutions. There are better performing solutions. Goodness. Using smart contracts on Ethereum. So ETH subscriptions are therefore seen as already obsolete by one part of the community, while others claim the launch of the protocol as an alternative method for minting NFTs that will be a game changer. Many users have embraced the idea of inscriptions on Ethereum to such an extent that they have temporarily blocked the API. So first off, application programming interface. This is like saying ATM machine. It's like automated teller machine. Silly peoples of ETH subscription website because of such a large volume in terms of traffic. Data from the first NFTs collection on Ethereum minted with ETH subscriptions. The ETH subscription protocol immediately gained the attention of the Web3 audience by recording a large amount of NFT minting on the Ethereum network, just as the advent of ordinals triggered a mad rush to find the yet-to-be inscribed element on the Bitcoin blockchain. The same occurred with Ethereum, with users rushing to create their own unique digital artifact. The first collection that has been created through this innovative process is that of the Ethereum Punks, effectively recreating one of the most famous collections in NFT history, the CryptoPunks. The floor price of the latest version of Punks, being highly variable at this stage, ranged between 0.0099 and 0.015 ETH. Yeah, that seems like a copy paste job. I don't know that anyone cares about that. Interesting. According to data from Blur, a decentralized marketplace for exchange non-fungible tokens, the ETH subscriptions phenomenon captured a volume of 77.57 ETH in the last day. If we instead consider the number of exchanges as of Saturday, the day the protocol was launched, the figure comes to 195.19 ETH. 195 ETH. Most likely, given the frenzy seen on social media about this new fad, the trading volume will easily reach 1,000 ETH in the coming days. For now, we can count 1,237 owners of ordinal style digital artifacts. Artifacts, I like that, like facts on the Ethereum network, and NFT supply of 3,665 pieces. It will be interesting to observe in the coming days whether more famous collections from the NFT world will be minted and whether this trend will continue for the next few months or die out in a few days. In addition, after the first wave of inscriptions involving only images, many expect to see more complex inscriptions. For example, we may soon see experimentation with fungible tokens on the Ethereum network in the style of BRC20 without the use of a smart contract. While conceptually this may be decidedly interesting, it does not represent progress for Ethereum ecosystem, but only a step backward from the functionality that the blockchain, described by Vitalik as a global computer for the world, can offer. Middle March is not of the same opinion, who excited about the launch of the protocol that guarantees the global uniqueness of the content of all valid ETH inscriptions mentioned in a tweet. The protocol is skating to where the puck is going in a layer 2 world. So how are inscriptions on Bitcoin progressing? While ETH inscriptions are starting to become popular in the world of NFTs on Ethereum, the universe of inscriptions on Bitcoin has already reached the height of its popularity. Activity on the Ordinals protocol of data on individual Satoshis continues apace. So much so that some 222,000 inscriptions were registered yesterday. The number, well higher than the average for the first few days of June, still results in a decrease in interest in the protocol compared to May, where a high of 400,000 inscriptions were reached in a single day. So you can see total inscriptions just really cranked, even though daily inscriptions chilled out. People keep using it. So in any case, there are still many users who use ordinals on a daily basis, either to mint NFT-like digital artifacts or to create fungible tokens via the BRC20 standard. Primarily, inscriptions are performed with text files, 90%, and PNG, which are compressed, I think, images at 5.3%. In total, 12.8 million inscriptions have been executed as of February, which have gifted miners transaction fees of 1,745 BTC, equivalent to $46 million. So that's what I was explaining. Like this whole Bitcoin ordinals functionality, it generated $46 million for Bitcoin miners, right? And so people mining made $46 million more. And of course, it's a drop in the bucket as far as how big money Bitcoin is. But the fact that it proved in a use case that can dramatically increase the amount of money and use case on Bitcoin, I think is a good shortcut to adoption. Bitcoin's mempool continues to have some minor difficulties in including transactions in blocks quickly, given the pressure from users to the Ordinals protocol. Right now, for example, there are 300,000 transactions waiting to be confirmed and added to a new block. It is interesting to note that although inscriptions continue to swarm the Bitcoin ecosystem, the fees paid to the miners are dropping quite a bit compared to the early days of May. These now represent the 3% of total miner revenue, a figure still higher than in July 2022 and February 2023 period, but it is down sharply from the top of 42% recorded on the 8th of May. So you can see we had a big spike. And that's the thing, like you introduce new tech, yeah, people jump on, they all test it, see if they like it or not. But that doesn't mean that they have a use case for it every single day. And especially in a bear market where, you know, people are building functionality, they're not necessarily building NFT projects that are public. So it's cool. Calm yourself. It's cool. Yo, SEC, Binance US. This is our headliner for the day. The SEC and Binance US consent order agreement. Experts disagree on the implications. And just so you know, CZ's head is not that big compared to his body. That was characterized. So it's a caricature. So as part of a sweeping enforcement action against Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission moved to freeze assets belonging to its U.S. affiliate, Binance US. The SEC alleged that Binance was in the habit of commingling and mishandling customer funds, raising concerns about the safety of U.S. customer deposits. On a June 13th hearing, Judge Amy Berman Jackson urged both parties to reach a compromise, agreeing that Binance.US lawyers that a full asset freeze could force the business to shut down. Over the week, the judge approved the compromise reached by both parties, but experts are divided on whether the outcome is in Binance's favor. Is this cause for celebration or concern? So in a tweet on June 17th, pro-crypto securities lawyer James Metalawman Murphy asserted that the so-called consent order was a win for Binance. The consent order is very close to what Binance offered to the SEC on the outset. The important thing is this is a consent decree and not a temporary restraining order, he added. According to Murphy, that this distinction is important as it implies the judge has yet to conclude that the SEC has provided enough evidence to prove a likelihood of success on the case's merits. But not all legal experts are as optimistic as Murphy. I mean, and that's why you want to invite Murphy to your birthday parties. He's so optimistic, you know? He's always like, guys, you can do it. You can break this piñata. Thanks, Murphy. Very tough to argue that what is just short of an SEC judicial receivership is some sort of Binance victory. Former SEC Office of Internet Enforcement Chief John Reed Stark asserted in a tweet on Sunday, June 18th. Very tough to argue that what is just short of an SEC judicial receivership is some sort of Binance victory. But I get it, and the lawyers can always respectfully disagree. And who can say for sure who is right and who is wrong? I am only going by my interpretation of the consent. Good for you, man. So the former SEC staff highlighted that the order gave regulators significant oversight, which he argued could lead to fresh charges against Binance. Aside from requiring Binance US to maintain full control of customer deposits, the consent order also gives the SEC oversight over the firm's spending, which is now restricted to only operational expenses. Get OPEX only OPEX for you. But in a recent tweet, Binance Chief Executive Officer CZ described the order terms as mutually acceptable. So although we maintain that the SEC's request for emergency relief was entirely unwarranted, we are pleased that the disagreement over this request was resolved on mutually acceptable terms. User funds have been and always will be safe and secure on all Binance affiliated platforms, he contended. Stay Safu. Binance.us issued a similar statement arguing that the SEC has failed to provide evidence to support its claims that the crypto exchange has misused customer deposits. So he's like, dude, you gotta, like, habeas corpus. You have to show me the body, right? Like, show me the proof that there's any crime here. And if you can't, then there isn't. That's kind of how this goes. So why this matters, the recent agreement in the case should theoretically allow Binance US to remain operational while the lawsuit continues. Still, the SEC's oversight over this activity may lead to unforeseen outcomes in the case. So either way, self-custody solves this problem. This is a centralized exchange issue when you could just be in a decentralized exchange posture. So that's my take on it, right? So we'll see what happens with that. Let's keep paying attention to what's happening with Binance, because I think it's going to lean the whole space in one direction. Hawkish Fed. Stocks, market rally, and crypto falling behind. Cointelegraph analyst and writer Marcel Peckman explains why the cryptocurrency market has been falling behind the stock market after the Fed's hawkish stance. So, in episode 13 of Cointelegraph's Macro Markets, begins by exploring why the United States Federal Reserve latest move has been pinned on the stock market rally. According to Cointelegraph analyst Marcel Peckman, part of the market was doubtful that the Fed would continue to sustain interest rates at 5% for the remainder of the 2023 as risks of an economic recession increased, but apparently they were wrong. Peckman states that the U.S. government signaled it is not afraid of unemployment and weaker corporate earnings as long as inflation is controlled. Therefore, the most probable reason for the U.S. stock market rally, where the risks of the Fed raising the interest rates which did not materialize, and the recent macroeconomic data, which come in at 4% inflation and 1.6 retail sales growth. So, meanwhile, according to Peckman, the crypto regulatory environment is definitely unfavorable. And the two biggest risks for the US dollar have dissipated: the debt ceiling and the out of control inflation. I mean, those problems are still real, dude. Like, that is not dissipated. Thus, considering the weak real estate sector, investors seem correct to pick the stock market as their preferred instrument in the next few coming months. Yeah, in my opinion, oil is really going to be, as far as in the stock market, where prices are moving favorably. The next part of the show discussed the European Central Bank raising interest rates for the eighth successive time. For Peckman, it became clear that the ECB hasn't been as hawkish as the US Federal Reserve and is now playing catch up on its 3.5% basic interest rate. Peckman explained how credit default swaps work and shows the distortion between US and European countries' risks according to market pricing. And his conclusion was perhaps the US dollar will hold its dominant reserve status for longer than expected. And I'm persuaded to hold this as well. I really do think the US dollar will continue to have dominant, global reserve status. I do think it's going to be on downtrend, but I think they're still going to hold on to it. So, however, the odds are not looking great for the euro, as the region has already entered a technical recession after 2 successive quarters of negative growth. If you want, blah blah blah. So, what do I make of this whole matter? Well, it seems that one, crypto is in an accumulation phase, waiting on regulatory clarity, which is great for everyone who's stacking sats, right? If you're doing dollar cost average, this is actually good for you because it means you're going to be able to get a nice big stack. You're going to be able to test tools and figure out in a bull market what tools are you using to trade. And that's my recommendation to everyone. Figure out what tools make the most sense. I'm certainly going to do my own homework and show you what I found, but I still want you to actually test it for yourself and see what works for you. Whenever you're testing new platforms too, you want to send the smallest amount of crypto because all you're doing is testing if it works, how fast it is, what the interface feels like. You don't want to send large amounts initially. You do little bits, but I think that's what this time is for. This time is for learning. This time is for testing your tools. This time is for stacking, different cryptocurrencies. And whenever we do get clarity, you are going to be very glad this bull market was delayed, right? I know everybody wants to get, loaded up and whatever, but you really can't make your money. You didn't have time to accumulate your position. So let's be grateful. This bear market really is going to make us wealthy in the long run here. So the U.S. court approves the SEC Binance agreement. So as per the approved agreement, only Binance US employees will have access to client funds until the litigation is resolved. So on June 17th, United States District Court Judge Amy Berman Jackson approved an agreement between Binance US, Binance, and the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, dismissing a previous temporary restraining order, or TRO, that would freeze all Binance US assets. This is just another angle on that story, just so you can understand everyone's perspective. So on June 14th, Jackson said she would prefer the parties reach an agreement independently rather than having her rule. The sides reportedly reached an agreement on June 16th. We are pleased to inform you that the court did not grant that the SEC's request for TRO and freeze of assets on our platform, which was clearly unjustified by both the facts and the law, Binance US said on Twitter. As per the approved agreement, only Binance US employees have access to client funds until the litigation is resolved. US-based customers will retain the ability to withdraw funds throughout this period. So what this means is you can't put money into Binance, but you can withdraw your crypto. and put it in some other exchange that lets you do that. So, and also just on a practical note, I'll show you something. So if you're wondering, like, okay, if Binance is shut down, you know what do I do? Like, what exchange should I go to? I'll show you this. So if you go to Coin Market Cap, and let's say you have like a big Dogecoin position, just for example, you can go onto markets over here, and markets will show you all the different exchanges that have support for Dogecoin trading pairs. And you can see by volume, that's really what you should care about. What is the 24-hour volume on that exchange? Because if that exchange has a high volume, it means that your trades will go through and be liquid. If it has low volume, your trades are probably not going to lock in. So in this case, it looks like Coinbase Exchange actually does support Doge over USD now. So if you wanted to take profits from Doge to USD, you could go to Coinbase Exchange to do that. You could go to KuCoin. You could go to Kraken, and those do support those trading pairs. So you could get that into USD and use that as your fiat off ramp or fiat on ramp if you want to accumulate a bigger position on that cryptocurrency. So you can do this with anything on CoinMarketCap. This is what I've been doing for quite a while as one of my audit tips. So whenever I'm analyzing a cryptocurrency and auditing its legitimacy, what I will do is look at what exchanges it's on. So if you go to CoinMarketCap, click on the coin, and then go to markets, you'll see who has, what exchange is really significant for that coin. And you can see what exchanges are kind of crap too. At the bottom of the pile, who has the least. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And you can see we're getting into some more obscure names like Gemini, which I think they got hit, the Winklevi. So anyways, like that's the point. Like there's like no volume here. So don't move your money to Gemini expecting that to trade. You know what I mean? Like don't move that to Bittrex expecting that to trade, because $11 of volume moves around in Litecoin over ETH, for example. So that's how you identify your trading pairs though. You're like, oh, so Binance is the best. Come on, man. I clicked on something stupid. Markets. Come here, buddy. So Binance clearly has like all the volume. So if you want to trade Litecoin over USDT, yeah, Binance has the highest liquidity, but OKX not far behind. It has like half as much volume, but as far as trades go, you'd still be able to do that reasonably. So there's also something on here related. On CoinMarketCap, you can filter by actual exchanges, and you can do spot exchanges. You can actually filter the exchanges and see like what the hell is the volume on these different exchanges, right? And so you can see like on the bottom, don't use BTX Pro. They have $5 of trading volume. We have Binance clearly has the most. This is not Binance US. This is Binance.com, which if you're in the States, you can't use unless you're using VPNs, and even then they want to do KYC. So you gotta, don't do that. Is my point. Bitforex, just behind that, and then we have Hotcoin Global, which I'm guessing is probably an Asia exchange. And so you keep going down, and then you find, oh, there's Coinbase, right? And mind you, this is by volume of trading, so this isn't necessarily volume of assets in custody. KuCoin, you're asking, KuCoin is right here, pretty far down the list, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means not as many people are using it, so the liquidity might not be there. What I'd really like to see, though, is I'd like to see decentralized exchanges on here be at the top of the list, because really that means people are in self-custody, and that's how crypto is best experienced, right? So hot take. That's my ADHD at its finest. So my gift to you. So as per the agreement, or as per the approved agreement, only Binance US customer or US employees will have access to client funds until the litigation resolves. US-based customers will retain the ability to withdraw funds throughout this period. What I wonder, though, is are funds including like ACH often, off ramps, or I wonder if that's only on crypto. So either way, I showed you how to fix that. Just make sure you do go onto CoinMarketCap. And actually, I'll do you one better because I love you. Because I love you. Here's that link I was looking at. You can just quick link there and take a look at it for yourself. But find a few exchanges that are pretty high on that volume list, and make sure you have accounts on them. Because if you ever need liquidity, you don't have to set up accounts. Because I have seen at times, like especially during high volume, some exchanges are like, "We're not currently accepting new customers." So don't get stuck in that situation. That sucks. So the deal between the crypto exchange and the US regulator also prevents any access by Binance global officials to private keys of wallets, hardware wallets, or root access to Binance US's AWS tools. There has never been any evidence presented by the SEC concerning the misuse of customer assets. In fact, the SEC lawyers conceded in court earlier this week when asked by the judge that they had no evidence suggesting that any such thing had occurred, stated Binance US regarding allegations of funds mismanagement. So, in a Twitter comment on the case, former chief of the SEC's Office of Internet Enforcement, John Reed Stark, noted the agreement includes a particularly interesting provision about the repatriation of certain assets to the United States. Defendants shall repatriate to the United States, transfer to BAM Trading, and confirm that BAM Trading maintains possession, custody, and control in the United States of all fiat currency and crypto assets that are deposited, held, traded, or accrued by customers, reads the agreement. Additionally, the deal asserts that Binance US must take immediate action to ensure a verified written accounting of accounts related to BAM entities valued greater than $1,000. On June 6th, the SEC filed an emergency motion for a temporary restraining order on Binance US that, after accusing Binance CEO CZ of having access to Binance US customer funds in a lawsuit. The regulator alleged that CZ moved $12 billion of Binance funds through an entity he controlled called Merit Peak. Ahead of the hearing of the restraining order, Binance US and CZ submitted a joint memorandum denying the funds were ever mishandled. According to them, the SEC has not identified a single instance where Binance US customer funds have been misused. So the question is, did they catch him red-handed, or is this just meant to be mud thrown at a exchange that actually is upstanding? I don't know. Either way, this is a centralized exchange issue, and if we move to a decentralized exchange, workflow, we don't care anymore. This is yawn fest. We don't care at all, other than on ramps for fiat and off ramps for fiat. So, let me know what you think. I know that was a lot of hot take, but Polygon recently had some upgrades. So Polygon Matic presents upgradable smart contracts. Here's what we know. So, should the new proposal be adopted by the community, the most popular Ethereum virtual machine blockchain will be able to upgrade its technical design faster and do it in a more democratic manner. However, there are too many questions about the balance of power in the novel hybrid governance model. Polygon Labs invited community enthusiasts to discuss them together. Polygon might activate novel governance mechanisms. In a recent tweet thread by Matt USZ Rozowski, maybe I said that right, he explained the motivation behind the potential governance model upgrade. It might give the power to implement some upgrades to the Ecosystem Council, a body of dedicated individuals of the Polygon Matic scene. So, The proposal, dubbed the second pillar, Polygon System Smart Contracts Governance, envisions the creation of the Ecosystem Council, which is poised to be able to perform time-locked, limited upgrades to upgradable system smart contracts across both Polygon networks, Polygon Proof of Stake, and Polygon ZK EVM. That's the coffee part of crypto and coffee. Sometimes I drink it. The Ecosystem Council will be able to upgrade smart contracts of Polygon Network for the mutual benefit of their users, validators, and developers. The community of Polygon token holders will be able to check the policy of the Ecosystem Council in order to prevent this network from stopping being whale dominated. Besides being, that's true of all sorts of things, from crypto markets to dating apps, right? Besides being more cost optimized, this hybrid model is not too sophisticated and is able to encourage more individuals to actively participate in community governance. So, this type of governance can minimize requirements for active governance, voter fatigue, and apathy, as well as potential attack vectors connected to, for example, regulatory held elections. The Ecosystem Council will have separate agendas for Polygon POS and Polygon ZK EVM. Polygon Matic publishes ambitious roadmap as SEC attacks altcoins. Rosowski shared a list of questions that should be discussed with the community before the migration towards a new governance model starts. Largely, they are about mechanisms of decentralization and the technical viability of the novel voting scheme. As covered by You Today previously, Polygon Labs dropped a bombshell by publishing its ambitious Polygon 2.0 vision after the SEC claimed that Polygon Matic is a security and should be regulated accordingly. Wish that had a link. As per this document, the Polygon blockchain will evolve into a new value layer for the entire internet. Besides strengthening Polygon's technical supremacy, it is set to accelerate Web3 adoption globally as a whole. So interesting. How interesting. So Polygon 2.0 vision. On You Today, they say. You Today. You Today. I just wanted to see if I could find it quickly. And I wonder if that's the ZK EVM part, but I'll check that out and maybe pull that up. Binance cancels registration in the UK amid regulatory scrutiny. So here's another piece of what happened here. So Binance deregistration with the FCA did not have an operational impact, as it had never done business in the United Kingdom, a regional manager said. Troubled cryptocurrency exchange Binance continues to withdraw from major markets amid the ongoing pushback from global regulators. Binance Markets Limited, Binance United Kingdom's based subsidiary, has officially canceled registration with the Financial Conduct Authority, or FCA. After deregistration, no Binance entity is authorized by the FCA to provide any services in the United Kingdom. Ouch. The regulator stated on its website. According to the FCA, the authority completed Binance's cancellation request of BMM's permissions with authority on May 30th in 2023. Following the completion of the cancellation of permissions, the firm is no longer authorized by the FCA. The regulator noted in an update on June 7th. The cancellation of BML's registration did not have an operational impact on Binance, as it had never been operational in the country, a regional manager at Binance reportedly said. So Laro, Binance's sub-regional manager for growth in the UK and Europe, argued that BML has never conducted any type of regulated business in the United Kingdom. He added BML was successfully acquired back in 2020 by Binance Group, intending to launch a regulated business in the UK. This attempt was not successful, however, and has since then remained dormant since its acquisition. Lauro took to Twitter on Sunday to also point out that Binance still holds 5 regulated entities in Europe, including France, Italy, Spain, Poland, and Sweden. As MiCA kicks into force in 2024/5, it's weird to denote it that way. We are moving focus to getting ready, which means some consolidation in order to passport through Europe, he noted. So the execs also mentioned the reason behind Binance's regulatory retreats in countries like Cyprus, the Netherlands, and Nigeria. So here's some more FUD. Let's address it. Cyprus, we have withdrawn our VASP registration as we prepare for MiCA. Holland, we have stopped offering services due to not obtaining a local license. In Nigeria, the complaint is against Binance Nigeria Limited, which is not owned by Binance. Interesting. So Binance is like, dude, I mean, this is just not reported correctly. Binance previously had some regulatory issues in the United Kingdom. In 2021, the FCA ordered Binance to stop all regulatory activities in the country. The news comes shortly after Binance Chief Strategy Officer Patrick Hillman expressed the company's commitment to be regulated in the UK amid Binance's issues in the United States. As previously reported, Binance is facing 2 civil lawsuits from US regulators, including the Securities and Exchange Commission and the Commodities Future Trading Commission. So this is good news for Binance, I think. Good news for crypto too, that like, look, yeah, there's FUD being thrown around. Governments are trying to get crypto to kind of take a dump, but we shouldn't freak out. It's okay. It's going to be okay. We don't have to spaz out here, right? And you know, I did want to point this out too. 25 countries now prepare to join the BRICS alliance. So, you know, it looks like more and more countries are joining this whole BRICS concept, but I'm not really fudding about this. I think it's challenging the US dollar, which is fine. I think what's going to happen here, though, is if these countries adopt BRICS, they're basically going to cut out US and US countries from sending them money, which I think is actually going to make their market smaller, which I think is actually going to put them in a bad position. So I'm not personally worried. I'm worried for people in BRICS countries but I'm not worried about us in the United States, because I think if you make your world smaller, that doesn't make you more wealthy, right? So don't worry about that, in my opinion. Keep calm, keep collecting crypto, make sure you're maintaining self-custody, and you'll be looking handsome. Last article for the day. This is funny. School kids are stealing millions of dollars of NFTs to buy Roblox skins. So, you know, just so you know, the next generation of hackers have emerged, and they're trying to get skins in Roblox. All they're doing is phishing their friends who are too stupid to not have their password be "I eat boogers for me." Everyone knows that's their password. So sometimes it's good to be suspicious of journalists. So take the case of Orbiter Finance last month. Here we go. Just wanted to make sure I was reading something correct. The moderator didn't realize the simple act would hand over control of their Discord server. So someone got their Discord server hacked, and this is apparently common. So the case of Orbiter Finance last month, a supposed journalist claiming to be from a crypto news site contacted one of its Discord moderators and asked them to fill in a form. The moderator didn't realize the simple act would hand over the control of the Discord server. Once inside, the perpetrator froze other admins' control over the server and restricted the ability for community members to send messages. They posted an announcement for a fake airdrop, sending everyone to a phishing website designed to steal their NFTs, and it worked. In total, they stole $1 million worth of NFTs and tokens in a flash, while the team could only watch. So there's so many ways around preventing this from happening. We were so concerned, said Gwen, a business development manager at Orbiter Finance, who recounted what happened in an interview. If we cause any damage to our community, we will just lose the trust from them. The Orbiter attack is just one recent example in a long string of exploits involving NFT drainers and compromised Discord servers or Twitter accounts. Data collected by NFT analysts and security experts known as OK Hotshot shows that at least 900 Discord servers have been compromised since December 2021 for carrying out phishing attacks, with a notable uptrend in the last 3 months. Such attacks have impacted at least 32,000 victim wallets over the last 9 months, according to data gathered by PeckShield and multiple dashboards on Dune Analytics by Scam Sniffer and others. In total, attackers have stolen NFTs worth combined $73 million. So the faces behind the attacks, these schemes were often involve wheeling and dealing in an emerging black market for drainer code. The orchestrators of the Fisher attacks first head to Telegram and Discord, where they can find the channels run by the developers of various different kinds of drainers. They contact the developer and purchase the drainer, which takes the form of a set code, which can be integrated into websites, which typically agreeing to give 20 to 30% of the proceeds to the developer. Then they will use their own methods, one being fake news site example described above, to compromise a Discord server or Twitter account and advertise a fake website containing the NFT drainer code to steal NFTs and anything they can get their hands on. That is when they're not busy with homework. So 95% of them are kids below the age of 18, and they're still in high school, said a pseudonymous security researcher known as Plum, who works on trust and safety team at NFT marketplace OpenSea, adding that this is why the number of attacks tend to increase during summer holidays. I personally have talked to quite a few of them and know they're still in school, said Plum. I've seen pictures and videos of various of them from their schools. They talk about their teachers, how they're failing their classes, or how they need to do their homework. These kids seem to make little effort to hide their newfound riches. They'll buy a laptop, buy some phones, shoes, spend vast amounts of money on Roblox. They all play Roblox for the most part. So they'll buy the coolest gear for the Roblox avatars, video games, and skins, things like that. Plum added that they often also buy gift cards with crypto on gift card marketplace Bitrefill, spend thousands of dollars on Uber Eats, buy designer clothes, pay people to do their homework for them, and even buy cars they can't drive yet. They also gamble. They bet $40,000 a pop on an online poker game and stream it to all the other hitters on a Discord call. Everyone will watch this person play this poker game, they said. The exploiters try to cover their tracks by paying people in lower income countries to use their personal details to register on exchanges, obfuscating the trail where they cash out, said Plum. But they said at least some of them should have been caught by now because they leave behind ample evidence of their actions. So Indo Crypto is going to find these guys, is what this means, if it wasn't for a lack of interest from law enforcement in catching them. So that's the story for the day. I'll include it in the chat if you want to read more of it. But this has been our show for Monday. Want to say, thank you to everyone for joining here on Crypto and Coffee, hosted on Decentralized TV. I would want to say that you need to keep calm, you need to huddle on, and don't spaz, man. Just don't freak out. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And of course, it is time to turn up and send off for the rest of the day with a little shake therapy. So, you know what we do. You know where we're at. What's gonna happen? Ooh, there it is. Doge the moon, baby. Doge! Sorry, that was weird. I stretched. Sometimes I do that when I stretch. What are you gonna do? Keep calm. Huddle on. We'll be back Wednesday and Friday at 9 Eastern. Until next time, keep calm, huddle on. And if you have questions, that is the words. Hit me up. Also, my hat is dirty. I don't know why it's dirty. I need to clean my hat.